I'm Alice, and I'm an alcoholic.
Okay, let's go back to your moment before. Has she spoken for this group before?
Usually you have an anniversary at 3 months, 6 months. This is probably meeting, well, sometimes they have them go talk to other meetings to qualify at other meetings. Or you'll have a home group that people go to all the time.
Okay, so do you think that she has?
Well, they introduce themselves every time.
Okay.
Even
so she's
every meeting you always
introduce yourself. Do you think that she's ever told her
yourself.
story in front of anybody?
Usually bits and pieces of it come out
Okay.
over the weeks of
well,
meetings.
let's treat it as if she hasn't.
Okay.
You know, or let's treat it as if there's a lot of newcomers in this group, and so maybe half the group has heard the story, but the other half, this is their first time and they've never heard her story. Which is really interesting. How are they going to tell you it's going to be okay? But you really need them to tell you that. So let's really go to whatever you feel most guilty about in your life. Something you feel like is unforgivable.
Hi, I'm Alice, and I'm an alcoholic. I've been sober for 184 days. I drank my first beer when I was 9 years old. My father was an alcoholic, so my mother liked to blame my problems on him, on his bad examples. That way she could hurt both of us at once.
Is your substitution in place?
I liked my beer and all the beers that followed. About a year ago, I got drunk and I couldn't stop. It's never happened that way before. And still to this day, I don't know why. One day I was in the shower and I grabbed the towel and I decided to go get the paper. And I'm glad that nobody saw me at the door or at the curb because I was still holding the towel when I was outside. I know how lucky I've been. There were times I drove around with my little girls just ripped out of my mind. One Saturday, I took my baby girl to run errands. And when I got home, I realized she wasn't with me. And because I couldn't remember where I'd been, I didn't know where she was. So I spent the next couple of hours calling every shop I'd ever been to. And until finally the tile guy rang my doorbell. He'd found my address on one of my checks. And I rewarded him by never returning to his store. My bottom was 184 days ago, when my little girl watched me chase Aspen with vodka. And then I hit her. And when I passed out, she was there along with me. She thought I was dead. All my life, I will never know what that did to her. But I have to forgive myself for that.
Check in with us one more.
And I have to forgive myself for what I did to my husband. It's amazing how much you can hate yourself when you're low and weak. And he couldn't save me from that. And so I turned it on him. And I kept pouring it out onto him. But there was always more, you know. So I shut him out. And I told him he made me feel weak and low and small. But the truth is, nobody does that to us. We do it all for ourselves. Now we're separated. And he moved out. And I don't. It took every bit of my strength to not beg him to stay. And I don't know if I'm gonna get a second chance, but I have to believe I deserve one. Scene.
Yeah!